Right then, Celtic fans get ready because there's a storm brewing in Glasgow. And it's all swirling around Maida, the Japanese forward who lit up the pitch last season with performances that were nothing short of electric, has now become the center of a transfer tug-of-war. After an explosive campaign where he rattled the net 33 times in 52 matches, Maida isn't just a name anymore. He's become a statement. He stepped up when Celtic needed him most filling. The shoes of Kyogo with such confidence and hunger that you could feel it reverberate through the terraces of Celtic Park. He didn't just play, he dominated, and it didn't take long for other clubs to notice. Now the Turkish giants Fenerbahce have come knocking, but with a bid that quite frankly has raised more eyebrows than expectations. Reports coming out of Turkey say their first offer for Maida was a measly 10 million euros. That's around 8.4 million pounds, a number so underwhelming it didn't just get rejected, it got laughed out the room. Celtic's response was crystal clear: if Fenerbahce want Maida, they better come back with something in the region of 21 million pounds. That's the valuation, that's the standard, and that's the level you have to reach if you want to prize away a player who's become absolutely vital in the heart of this squad. Now, this isn't just about money, this is about respect. Celtic know what they have in Maida, a forward who works tirelessly, presses relentlessly, and finishes clinically. He's not the kind of player you can pick up on the cheap, and the message from Parkhead is simple: if you're not going to talk serious numbers, don't talk at all. The interest from Fenerbahce makes sense on their end. They're on the hunt for someone to fill the boots of Alan St. Maximin, and they see Maida as that guy. The energy, the pace, the versatility, it's all there, but spotting talent is one thing. Thinking you can snatch it away for a cut price fee is another. And as if things weren't spicy enough, there's another wrinkle to this whole saga. Tottenham Hotspur are also lurking. Yeah, Spurs, those Premier League side who've had their own roller coaster of a season, are reportedly keeping close tabs on Maida's situation. And there's a big reason why Ange Postecoglou, the very man who brought Maida to Celtic from Japan for just over £1 million back in 2022, could be eyeing a reunion. Their history is well documented. Postecoglou knows exactly what Maida brings, not just in goals, but in character, in work rate, in mentality. But here's the twist. Postecoglou's own future in North London isn't entirely secure. Despite leading Spurs to a Europa League title, he's reportedly on thin ice with the club's hierarchy. Daniel Levy is said to be considering his options, which means any potential move for Maida might be tied to whether Postecoglou stays or goes. If the Australian is shown the door, then Tottenham's interest in Maida could cool off. But if he stays and has a say in summer transfers, well, that's when things could get interesting. Meanwhile, back in Glasgow, there's a growing sense of defiance. Celtic aren't just holding firm, they're drawing a line in the sand. And rightly so. Maida's performances last season weren't just good, they were transformational. He became the focal point of the attack, a constant menace for defenders, and someone who wore the green and white with absolute pride. You don't let a player like that go for anything less than top dollar, and certainly not for a fee that barely scratches what he's worth in today's market. There's also the timing to consider. Celtic are coming off a season filled with highs, and the ambition is clear: build, not break. Selling one of your top performers for peanuts sends the wrong message, not just to the fans, but to the dressing room. This is a club with European aspirations, domestic dominance to defend, and a clear vision for the future. Letting Maida go for less than he's worth would be a massive backward step. And the board knows that. Brendan Rodgers knows that. Even the fans in the stands know that. Now Fenerbahce may come back with a stronger bid. They're serious about bolstering their squad and pushing for silverware both at home and in European competitions. But Celtic are under no pressure to sell. Maida still has time on his contract, and the club is in a financially stable position. This isn't a fire sale, this is a negotiation, and a tough one at that. If you want quality, you've got to pay the price. And while the transfer rumor mill keeps turning, the player himself remains focused. That's one of Maida's strengths. No matter what's swirling around him, he keeps his head down and gets the job done. Whether he stays in Glasgow or moves on to new challenges, one thing's for sure: his next chapter will be shaped by more than just numbers on a check. It will come down to ambition, vision, and mutual respect between clubs. And right now, Celtic, are standing tall, showing exactly how you handle transfer noise when you believe in the value of your players. So let's keep digging into this whole Maida situation, because what's happening behind the scenes here tells us a lot about where Celtic are as a club and where they're headed. It's not just about one player, it's about identity pride and the message you send to the football world. The Celtic board making it clear that Maida is valued at £21 million is more than a negotiation tactic. It's a statement. It's about showing the rest of Europe, and maybe even the rest of the world, that Celtic are no longer in the business of being a bargain bin for clubs with deeper pockets. The days of letting stars walk out the door for cut prices are over. Now it's about standing your ground, protecting your assets, and demanding fair value for players who are delivering on the pitch week in, week out. And in Days and Maida, we're not just talking about a goal scorer. We're talking about a system player, someone who fits like a glove into the pressing game, the transitions, the counterattacks. He's the first line of defense and the first spark. In attack, that relentless energy that work rate the speed. It's no wonder he's being looked at as a solution by other top clubs. But Celtic fans know better than anyone it's not easy to replace a player like him. It's not just about finding someone else who scores goals. It's about finding someone who embodies the spirit of the badge, someone who gives every ounce of himself on that pitch for 90 plus minutes every single match. Now, there's always this dance in football when it comes to transfers. You get interest, you get bids, the media starts swirling around it, and before you know it, fans are refreshing social media feeds every 5 minutes looking for updates. But what Celtic are doing right now is reminding everyone that not every player is for sale, at least not at a discount. That kind of confidence comes from knowing you're building something sustainable. You're not desperate to sell, you're not under pressure to cash in, or most importantly, you're not afraid to say no. At the same time, you've got to admire how composed Maida has been through it all. No public statements, no distractions, just business as usual. That kind of professionalism is rare these days. Some players let the rumors go to their heads. You see their performance dip. They start making noise behind closed doors. But Maida, he's kept his focus, kept pushing forward. And if anything, he looks even more determined to deliver for the fans. That speaks volumes about the type of player he is and the type of man he is. And don't forget the Ange factor. Postecoglou's role in all of this adds a layer of intrigue that's hard to ignore. He was the one who brought Maida to Celtic, saw his potential, nurtured his growth, and gave him the platform to shine. If there's one manager in European football who truly understands how to get the best out of him, it's Ange. So if Tottenham managed to keep the Aussie in charge, and that's still a big if, then their interest in Maida becomes much more serious. This isn't just scouting. This is about a manager wanting to bring a trusted player into his new project. But if Spurs decide to go in a different direction and part ways with Postecoglou, then we might see that door closing as quickly as it opened. Meanwhile, in Istanbul, Fenerbahce are clearly keen. They've got ambitions. They want to strengthen their squad, and they see Maida as a player who can help take them to the next level. But again, interest is one thing. Execution is another. You can't just throw out a lowball offer and expect it to be accepted, especially not when you're dealing with a club like Celtic who know exactly what they've got. That first bid was insulting, plain and simple. You don't offer £8.4 million for a forward who's just come off a season scoring over 30 goals, especially when he's still in his prime with years of top football ahead of him. What's also worth noting is how this situation reflects the broader shift happening at Celtic. There's a growing confidence, a stronger sense of identity, and a refusal to be bullied by bigger names or flashier leagues. The club is setting a tone. We know our value and we won't compromise. And in a footballing landscape where players move constantly, where loyalty is rare, and where finances often drive decisions, that kind of clarity is refreshing. It shows leadership. It shows vision. Of course, transfer windows are long and things can change quickly. Maybe Fenerbahce come back with a bigger offer. Maybe Tottenham make a concrete move. Maybe another club not even on the radar right now swoops in at the last moment. These are the unpredictable parts of the game that keep fans glued to every update. But what shouldn't change, and what so far hasn't, is Celtic's stance. They're in control here. They hold the cards. And unless someone comes forward with a proposal that truly reflects Maida's value, they're not going to budge. For the supporters, it's an emotional ride. You get attached to players like Maida not just because of the goals or the assists, but because of what they represent. Grit, determination, loyalty, and that unmistakable drive to win. Seeing him potentially leave would sting, but if it happens on Celtic's terms for a fee that can genuinely be reinvested in the squad, then at least you know the club is managing it the right way. And if he stays, even better, because there's unfinished business. There are more trophies to chase, more derbies to dominate, and more European nights to light up. Looking ahead, this whole situation could end up being a defining moment, not just for Maida, but for the club's transfer policy. Going forward, it sends a message to agents, to scouts, to clubs. All across Europe, Celtic isn't a stepping stone anymore. It's a destination, a place where players can grow, compete, and make their mark on a global stage. But if someone wants to take one of those players away, they better come with serious intent and a serious check. So for now, we wait. Eyes on Fenerbahce, eyes on Spurs, eyes on Celtic Park. Because what happens next could set the tone for the rest of the summer, and maybe even for the next chapter in Maida's remarkable journey. And as always in football, timing is everything. But one thing's already clear, Celtic aren't backing down. They've drawn the line, they've named the price, and the rest, well, the ball's in their court. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers are growing louder around Parkhead this week, as stunning reports emerge suggesting that the owner of Qatar Airways has tabled a sensational multi-billion-pound bid for Celtic Football Club. Sources close to the situation hint at serious Middle Eastern interest in acquiring the Glasgow Giants, with ambitious plans that could see the Hoops not only dominate Scottish football for years to come, but also challenge for the most coveted prize in European football, the UEFA Champions League. While nothing has been officially confirmed by either party, insiders claim that initial conversations have already taken place, with the Qatari tycoon reportedly making it clear that his intention is to catapult Celtic into the European elite. The prospective new owner is said to be enticed by the club's rich history, fervent support, and global fan base, seeing Celtic as the ideal platform to rival Europe's superpowers. The rumored proposal is believed to include significant investments, not only in the playing squad, but also in the club's infrastructure, including a potential expansion of Celtic Park and upgrades to training facilities. Crucially, the Qatari magnate is understood to have made one major promise to those close to the talks: to deliver the Champions League trophy to Glasgow's East End. Such a move would represent a seismic shift in Scottish football, where financial disparity with Europe's biggest leagues has often curtailed Celtic's continental ambitions. But with the backing of vast Qatari wealth, some believe the dream of seeing the famous green and white hoops lifting European silverware could be within reach for the first time since the legendary Lisbon Lions of 1967. However, there are those within the Celtic community urging caution, aware that such high-profile takeovers come with complexities and potential pitfalls. Questions are already being asked about how this aligns with the club's traditions, ethos, and the governance structures of both Scottish and European football. As always in football's rumor mill, it remains to be seen whether these negotiations will come to fruition or simply fade into the realm of what might have been. But one thing is certain: the mere prospect of Qatari billions flowing into Celtic Park has set tongues wagging across Scotland and beyond. For now, all eyes remain on the boardroom at Celtic Park as fans and pundits alike await any concrete developments in what could become one of the most sensational stories in Scottish football history. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.